All right, let's dive in. We're going to unpack the key insights from the World Economic Forum's 2025 meeting in Davos.
Yeah.
You know, that big global get-together focusing on the world's challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission here, I think, is to really pull out the most important nuggets about how collaboration and technology are shaping the economy, looking at it through the lens of Davos specifically.
Okay. And what immediately jumped out, at least from what I saw, was this really strong theme. They're calling it constructive optimism.
Mm.
It's not about, ignoring problems. It's more a realistic but, well, positive view, aiming for actual solutions.
Right. And what's fascinating, I think, is how different that feels from, say, the 2023 meeting. Remember all the talk about polycrises?
Oh, yeah, that was everywhere, like multiple crises hitting at once.
Exactly. Climate, economy, geopolitics. It felt quite heavy. This year, the focus really seemed to shift. It was much more about, okay, how do we actually work out ways to tackle these things? More grounded, more practical.
And it feels like it's built on something solid, too. I mean, lots of individual countries, regions, they actually have pretty strong underlying fundamentals, don't they?
They do, and you see that reflected in things like the OECD's global GDP forecasts for 2025, 2026. They're, reasonably positive overall.
Okay, so there's a base there.
That's a base, which raises the big question, right? How do we build on that base? How do we tackle the big systemic issues?
And the answer from Davos was?
It seems to be about prioritizing stability and really focusing on shared solutions rather than, getting bogged down in divisions. It's just a different kind of leadership is needed.
Okay, so it's a mindset shift. But did we see actual stuff happening? I mean, beyond the philosophy, that's what makes this constructive optimism real, isn't it? Concrete action.
Absolutely. And there were some key examples. One big area was climate action. The Transitioning Industrial Clusters Initiative, for instance, that saw significant expansion.
Industrial clusters. Tell me more about that.
Well, they added 13 new cities and regions to this network, including 5 from India, which is, pretty important strategically. That brings the total up to 33 clusters around the world.
33. Wow. And what are these clusters actually doing?
It's quite interesting. It's this dual goal. Companies and public bodies pledging to cut greenhouse gas emissions.
Okay, the climate part.
While also boosting economic growth and creating jobs in those same regions.
Oh, so it's not an either. It's trying to do both.
Yeah.
How does that work in practice? Like green jobs?
Exactly. Things like creating new green industries, maybe retrofitting older infrastructure, pushing innovation in clean energy. It's making growth and sustainability partners, basically. That's constructive optimism right there.
That makes sense. What else? Any other tangible progress?
Yeah, health was another area, specifically the Global Activator Network on Maternal Health. Nigeria signed up as the first activator.
Okay. Maternal health. Why is that significant?
Well, women's health is often overlooked, right?
Yeah.
But it's absolutely vital for socioeconomic development. So seeing this kind of focused action, especially in a region like Africa where maternal mortality is disproportionately high, it's bringing resources, policy frameworks where they're needed most.
Connects back to the Sustainable Development Goals too, doesn't it? SDG 3.
Precisely. Good health and well-being. So it's not just talk, it's human-centric action, putting that optimism into practice.
Okay, so we have climate action, health advancements. These are critical.
Yeah.
But underlying a lot of this, I imagine, is technology. That seemed to be a huge focus. AI especially.
Oh, massively. AI was everywhere in the discussions. It's clearly seen as maybe the strategic priority now for leaders globally.
The paramount driver of change, I think I read.
That's the term they use, change and disruption. And if you think about it, the sheer speed of this transformation.
It does feel fast.
It's unprecedented. And
Yeah.
It's not just one sector. These frontier technologies, the really cutting edge stuff, they're hitting pretty much everything simultaneously. They're calling it the intelligent age.
The intelligent age.
Okay.
But potential is one thing. Getting it working at scale. That's often the tricky part, isn't it? I saw mention of challenges in scaling up pilots and concept proofs.
Exactly right. We have lots of great ideas, lots of pilots, but moving from a cool pilot project to something that's widely adopted, making a real difference across the board, that's the hurdle.
But also the opportunity, I guess.
That's the flip side. It's a massive opportunity if you can scale it correctly. And this is where, those country-based centers like the C4IR centers come in. They take these big frontier tech ideas and figure out how to apply them to specific local problems, social economic challenges.
So making it relevant on the ground. How do we make sure everyone benefits, though? That these amazing new technologies don't just widen the gap. There was talk about democratizing technologies.
Yeah, that's crucial. And democratizing isn't just about access, like making it cheap enough. It's also about making it transparent, understandable.
So people know what it is and how it works.
Exactly, because when more people understand it, when it's more transparent, it's actually easier to govern. You get more informed discussion about the impacts, the ethics. It makes misuse harder, or at least less likely to go unnoticed.
Okay. And this seems to tie back into that collaboration theme again, like
Yeah.
businesses and countries working together.
Absolutely. In this intelligent age, that kind of strategic collaboration isn't just nice to have, it's essential.
How so?
Well, one theme was about nations figuring out their real competitive advantages. Where should they focus their energy and funding instead of everyone trying to do everything or creating these closed-off proprietary systems?
Proprietary systems.
Yeah.
Like tech platforms only one company controls.
Right, which can sometimes stifle innovation or create dependencies. So the push is more towards open markets, open supply chains, reducing that over-reliance.
Makes sense. But there must be a security angle, too.
Definitely. Protecting critical infrastructure is key. Governments, businesses, they need to work together on that. And also building up capacity in areas that might be strategically weak.
It sounds complex, but logical.
Yeah.
Did you see examples of this? This constructive optimism using tech, maybe from that India center you mentioned earlier.
Oh, absolutely. The Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, India, C4IR, India, they have some really fascinating projects that embody this.
Like what?
Well, take Aviate. It's looking at future aerial mobility. Drones, basically.
Drones, okay. For deliveries?
Partly, yes. Tackling urban congestion with drone deliveries. But also, and this is really interesting, using them to improve connectivity in rural areas. Imagine delivering medicines or essential supplies to remote villages that are hard to reach by road.
Wow, okay, that's a powerful application.
Right. And then there's AI for India 2030. This is a huge program aiming to unlock AI's potential for, well, broad societal benefit.
Oh, what's those benefits?
Things like improving farming yields through AI analysis, making public services more efficient, maybe even enhancing healthcare diagnostics. It's really ambitious.
And they have a climate technology program, too.
Yes, focusing on developing climate-smart urban centers. And another one on the future of space economy, supporting India's goals in that area. These aren't just vague ideas, they're like blueprints for using tech to solve real national challenges, harnessing it for the greater good.
So bringing it all together then,
Right.
what's the main takeaway from Davos 2025?
I think, despite, the sheer scale of the challenges we all know about, the overall feeling was perhaps surprisingly quite positive.
Yeah, it felt like a definite shift, moving from just listing the problems.
To actually getting down to work on tangible solutions, real actionable stuff.
It really reinforces that core idea, doesn't it? That constructive optimism.
It does. It's about a willingness to exchange ideas, yes, but also to cooperate and then crucially to act. And those things definitely seemed present this year.
Which sort of leaves us with a final thought maybe for you listening. How can you bring a bit of that constructive optimism into your own world? Whether it's your work, your community, or even just how you approach all the complex stuff coming at us every day.